FM Neo. Wotie oha actually punk no.
Wotie the Torchlight Jumedie ewo NIT 100.9. Wotie the Torchlight Jumedie ewo NIT 100.9. Wotie the Torchlight Jumedie ewo NIT 100.9.
kunkunim kofa agina ne so akwara paadi kokwe hu ededa mana ekire no ne adehyiamra kroma dansidifo mehwe kasemu kira awawade esumu apai mo hire nyakwa pie awawasem nie we die bi si pen ne Neat FM.
Procedural compliance at 80%. In other words, if people met 80% of the criteria and the processes that are required to be undertaken, they could be considered to have been lawfully engaged or employed. The committee also requested relevant documentation and interviewed appropriate officers in the organizations concerned. The documents and information requested by the committee included 1. Evidence of declaration of vacancy. 2. A copy of the appropriate advertisement. 3. A copy of approved scheme of service. 4. Copy of technical clearance. 5. Copy of the appointment letter. 8. The committee's work, it received 43 reports from institutions and individual petitioners. 36 at Ghana India Kofi Annan Center of Excellence in ICT, the Ghana Post Company Limited, Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Ghana Shippers Authority, the National Health Insurance Authority, Office of the Ghana Shippers Authority, the National Health Insurance Authority, Office of the Head of Local Service, Local Government, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Head of Local Service, Local Government.
Neat FM Neo.
Procedural compliance at 80%. In other words, if people met 80% of the criteria and the processes that are required to be undertaken, they could be considered to have been lawfully engaged or employed. The committee also requested relevant documentation and interviewed appropriate officers in the organizations concerned. The documents and information requested by the committee included 1. Evidence of declaration of vacancy. 2. A copy of the appropriate advertisement. 3. A copy of approved scheme of service. 4. Copy of technical clearance. 5. Copy of the appointment letter. 8. The committee's work, it received 43 reports from institutions and individual petitioners. 36 at Ghana India Kofi Annan Center of Excellence in ICT, the Ghana Post Company Limited, Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Ghana Shippers Authority, the National Health Insurance Authority, Office of the Ghana Shippers Authority, the National Health Insurance Authority, Office of the Head of Local Service, Local Government, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Head of Local Service, Local Government, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice, the Petroleum Commission, the Public Procurement Authority, the National Communications Authority, National Pensions Regulatory Authority, the Tema Oil Refinery, Ministry of Health, Ghana National Gas Company, Volta River Authority, Bui Power Authority, the Ghana TVET Service, the Ghana Investments Promotion Center, the Electoral Commission, the Gaming Commission of Ghana, Maritime Authority, the PSC Tema Shipyard Limited, the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, the Metro Mass Transit Limited, SD Dombo University of Business and Integrated Transit Limited, SD Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, as it was known then, the Minerals Income Investment Fund, the Social Security petitions about the revocation of the appointments to the following organizations: the Forestry Plantation Development Fund, the National Investment Bank, the National Development Planning Commission, the Ghana Exim Bank, the Ghana Commercial Bank or GCB Bank, the Volta Lake Transport Company Limited, the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications, and a collection of petitions from persons living with disability. At the end of its work, the committee made the following findings. 1. Of the 36 institutions that appeared before it, 28 had commenced the recruitment processes before the 7th December elections. 2. A total of 13 institutions revoked appointments made in a response to the 7th of December 2024 revocation directive. 17 institutions did not revoke their appointments but sought guidance from the office of the president. 16 of the cases reported by the institutions were mainly payroll related. In total, there were 2,080 recruitments, appointments, and promotions that were reported by institutions when they appeared before the committee. Now, out of the 2,080 recruitments, appointments, and promotions, 879 were revoked by the institutions themselves, while 1,201 appointments were left unrevoked. After the hearings, the committee recommended that 1,539 of the recruitments, appointments, and promotions be upheld because they complied with the prescribed recruitment and promotion procedures and received appointment letters before 7 December 2024. And this also implies that they achieved a pass mark of above 80%, or 80% or above, I beg your pardon. The committee recommended, however, that the recruitments, appointments, and promotions of 541 persons be revoked because the recruitment processes ended after 7 December 2024 and failed to meet the pass mark. In other words, they also did not comply with the processes and guidelines submitted or designed to govern that process.
Jamo Kwambe de Benny 100.9 and then you mray. Jumede your friend Torchlight, baby be a will be an memo aquaba. Yatana say ayaba be a manosem, Ayawa so east by elections in a coso. Na any amebo yen so your honorable Felix Ofosu Kwache or Kwachi Ofosu. Or your government spokesperson or Kasa Edema Bime. And summer, say ever since Honorable Julius Debra. At this statement in Babeto Abontain say, one more buying that down of foul Bajuma before 7th December. No, South for no for Bajuma unto answer. Say, Mamma follow me in a morning show, so near danger, Macano for several times, tens of thousands times. Say, a dear ways are buying a or ya, woman yen in tem. A buying a or ya, woman yen in tem. Because media. Se obi ye adwuma na bibi si na nipa na adwuma bona aya na ene mekra enhia because ene wonye adwuma wo ye adwuma kra na etese na wonye adwuma. It is a recruitment process na eba ye no eyade a ye kan say aban no ntwehwemu am ye because ye nyina be kan ye ho say the government spokesperson Honorable Kwachi Ofosu Ekan say one more year validation processes be a sa validation ebe di temo why na the recruitment no emuda ho fine why so na the recruitment no mususu say esum ewom etiampaniampa over 1,500 recruits one more fa one no nipa 1,500 ebi eguso. Sir, over 1,500 idiot. One say, one recruitment, no, Bibia edemo fine. Emu baya 540 dear. One recruitment, no, a buying anyantum because woman meet a year the threshold. Woman meet and sheshaya. Omudigu wa na woman de ye ishimono. It's when you and Sama ababeto jane. Wobesha State of the Nation's address. Eyadia minority dom kuma wa mo Ghana mrachebe jafie no. Wo mo ka say omampanyin State of the Nations no. Na te san ka omampanyin no ekire. Say sa recruitment process no. Ehun sama kosi say no ba na me no mo ya adwen. Na me no mo ya adwen pa nti enra me kan say yes. Sa recruitment process no de na say yehu baabi a akwakwa kodu. Etini nyina mu na ne eye government spokesperson odi aba betudwa na wachire adwuma womaye so far nipa dodo a womaje womatum nipa dodo a womo entimi anye womatum but say yehwa dodo na no moje eye womo process no tum because so figures na nipa 541 ena woma rejected womo recruitment processes no nipa 541 because woma intime meet eye the threshold but se wukomu a nipa 1578 hey where is the figure na messing why I say me the correct figure say one more 1201 na one man revoke one more recruitment process no one more change committee no recommendation but 1539 dear one ma joma to mo one mo ba be yaduma na just one mo no enye sa bandada no fa akwati kwan so no do mbae one mo de bibia edem fine but ade we no da bia na meka se ade we na ban na ye no esa ban no onye ahweyie ewo ho aban no enye ahweyie ewo ho because da bia na meka wa ha say one of the issues are MPP amafo bufu wo ma to abaditi a wo no eye nhyehyɛ ya wo mo ye ya wo mo keka banks bi bo mu anam so ma nipa bi kokotena afie whether they like it or yes ekutia MPP papa hwesa wo ya ban na wo ba so na wo ye nhyehyɛ bi no wan hwɛ ne na ma nipa adwuma bɔ wo mo na mo kotena afie a won beto abade etia they will punish you severely. You'll be severely punished. One more franchise. Say one more be a juma bono. Then you paraquat in a fee. You'll be punished. 80 a ye wenum and na Emsaquabanasa. Among your benches are by the trading cautious. It is so far, the Ababeto Jenny. And I'm a special guest on the show. And yeah, lawyer Kwesi Boche Jr. Lawyer Kwesi Boche Jr. mi hu na chepa. Etene kan so mi hu na che. Yede na anso na na ehefia. Enne I am a special guest. Owo fia ha. Yene no e ba bedin komo. Yenya ne tiasa wa file e de akọ eye RTI commission o mampanyin jobs a o ka se we create no. Emu semete sen. O ha ni nyina no ye bedi ho komo. For what you check on Facebook, Neat 100.9 FM, Neat 100.9 FM. We'll call YouTube channel now on the Despite Media. Meeting at the Mark Jerry OSEI AGYEMAN. Jumedie, your friend Torchlight, would Neat 100.9. Lawyer Kwesi Boche Jr. Menini Via, Ivan Samo, is a member of the NDC or no so beba. Na ya bon common, I also Eastern so about to know. Ye peke the outcome ye share said the normal call and also ye beko ho na ye bisemu se results na ekosen lawyer Kwesi Boche Jr. ye mo adwo
majai ampom ti se
nyame adoboko na nso
nyame di ache nyame ehu ye mobo me ho ye pa
ye de nyakopon ase ye hu na ache
enoke
ibi ekoso
nyame adom bi ekoso pa
sa
ye 2024 na ba ni wie no NPP entiman winning no na quickly na was say party the timetnas na ye hwehwe de enti a entiman winning and one of the reasons are yem penny for mo ye research Professor Michael Kwe committee report na what they ba out and say your presidential primaries ye very late go back ye be going to 2024 elections your presidential candidate somewhere in November 2023 no just 13 months, even 12 months to tour the whole country. That time now, President Mahama I around 3 times around the country 3 times a year. Into committee report, my recommendation say yenye your presidential primaries in term into the whole of 2025 no na ye toto ahoboaboa ye de be ye 2020 your primaries ye koye na nanu ya na famagja imiji so say ya we say na me ne Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia so na ye adwuma nti no campaign na me nemu across the country.
Me hui pa say na wodi akire pa gidigidi. Yes.
Nti na on temenka no. But you see a we campaign na any major political event bia we nim say ndie. Obeta hu me ya tai di nkomo nti. Nti anya bo apayo nti na hu me ache.
Mate. Na yen hwe aftermath of MPP. Mudin Kuguo say MPP yi leader and wudi na chipa abontoa edemano. So far, as you say, internal elections and so, pending.
So far, dear,
say no who party.
So far, dear, make say your party is in very, very good shape. Let me say, before you be your primaries, you know, not tension kakra your party, but your primaries, ni ye candy for any dear tension in your abba form. Say any dear your party no, ejina ni naso. Ye gusua ye reorganization process ni ye flag bearer and say ye be your registration at 51st March, 31st March. Who are person dom MPP be an MPP be or monkrata say obi timaba aba join ye. We no na near your polling station elections in April. Your polling station elections in April na near your electoral area elections. You electoral area elections na near your diaspora and branch elections. Your branches are all the various countries: China, UK, US, Canada, near the idea. We are no near Baba regional elections somewhere in June. We regional elections na near national elections somewhere in August, September. Until latest by ending of September, there was a Nyamiadom MPP a reorganization and na we are your party no will be in a good shape for election 2028 and victory 2028. Until so far the party nimboko yeda mpenimfo so ase so mode nyoma gu akwan a the presidential primaries was one of the smoothest elections ever. Candidate ninia obi a congratulating aspirant ninia obi a congratulating Dr. Bawumia ebi nima banifie aba be congratulating no ofa honorable engineer Kwabna eje Japan na wabefia be congratulate or wako Dr. Bawumia fia congratulating no.
Yes.
Honorable say Duchum akofia congratulating no. Honorable Ken Japan, Honorable Brian so a friend wo phone so aye den a congratulating no. I'm sure say mrepemu no omuni omobe kofie ho and then akwa plans, but the most important thing is omo money ne kwa akensi ni they have demonstrated their commitment say omuni Dr. Bawumia be ye adwuma bom ama MPP nya hoode ama MPP afa no ntum mpai fra se ne be ya 2028 elections na MPP betima win na yetima je aban abanwa ne free NDC for nsema audio ya oboy government communication minister Ferry ni na ni so me dizen komona ni atie sim no
say komona no an yedi na wo say Ferry ni na so say wo ma ye nhwehwe mo wo mo kwa say one way or the other wo ma vindicate MPP kakra
very Ferry ni na ni so say na why press conference I didn't same way to do. But you see I have a lot of data about figures no quote here and say for you revoke your appointment and they were about
541
there be no or say they were about to share the entire statement and I say they were about
2080
I have a lot of data about that figure. Minjin this say for revoke your appointment in 2080 didn't you make us
I woke earlier statement from chief of staff okay
didn't you make us say GRE no me 200 GRE alone no me nipa 200 na affected. Ghana Maritime Authority, there were a lot of people. National Health Insurance, a lot of people. Because I said my account was a nationwide though. And I want to say institution be to say National Health Insurance Authority. Or more national appeal into no Oko district via or more NHI office. Intermediate me when say numbers in the government has not been truthful because numbers no bro personal figures are yakabo due to chief of staff directive no omulusu omedjuma were close to about 30,000 people.
30,000
people omunye 2,000
2,000 or can hold out.
They are about 30. Yes, I'm telling you. After I told you, said GRE on record. GRE at 200. I know GRE DNA because most of them the court. The colleague back a team of lawyers no more court. And I know said GRE staff alone a 200. It's a GRE staff alone a 200 and NL by
Senate and so many say nipa be 300 and I heard it. But
no, it's possible because Senate is once a nationwide representation.
Yeah, representation.
District be able to be an region be a Senate office war. And this a be a omu nipa be 20 decana. You can calculate nationwide and see the number of people that will be affected. And send a head office and go for a be your medi. And you know, companies need a be because a carty across all the government agencies, about the 7,000 government agencies. And you know, it is not true, say, nipa 2,000 pena ebia omono ye nipa 2,000 pena sa committee you know it me pay attention to them, but it is not true. But I think say abino they have to bow down their heads in shame. I was abino to me pa mebru natural because me I don't think say yafa obi adwuma not so a young person say nipa ni NDC ni kra I have a problem with it. Me patros what they make na say NDC ni go Ghana ni o MPP ni nti den o Ghana ni nti na Ghana ni nya adwuma na obeka say yempam na free the party free abem. I don't think say any the chichire man o man dey chichire you need everybody, you need all of us to come together. Opposition we play a very critical role. Say your money be work it me twa aban na dwen so say we munye ni we munye ni say that revocation of appointment opposition for yan fire no antuma anka minji ni se nko for 500 and yina ya reinstate omo no kura na nke be reinstate omo what you say. So I think say sir we MPP ni yempam ni free adwuma we NDC ni sir nyoma na we say yetimi slow down wo ho kakra na yetimi tolerate opposition views. It is any pan once wa ba adwuma na enya politics no ba be ye adwuma mo no so ba be ye adwuma abo asom ne mind there. The person should be allowed
yeah,
to
but
work,
some
irrespective
process
of
no. Also, the almost came 541.
No, but what you see, it's about the
541. Almost say one more process.
No, it is about the intent. Jerry, let's take it from the intent. Or the revoke appointment. The intent. I do attach the revoke appointment and say MPP be free abemuno. Any more appointment in December 2024. That was the purpose. Osha chief of staff letter not trying. That was the purpose. And our agencies nibi ede omanga so to me share omunsem. Take retroactive decisions as far as 2021 and go for a form of Jumafa Ghana Maritime Authority for now your court na say nipa about 40 years here reinstate your Ghana Maritime Authority now e binim your appointment in 2021 2022 omuni ani your modifi adwumem without even going through the due process e binim kra on my enti o masem unilaterally o ha ni ama sack letter say Gina Kofi pacho what you say until I think say a worrying situation because by way by no when teaming create any meaningful sustainable jobs bia the young people now abanda dan no mutiminya sustainable jobs kakra na aban we beka say enu nti no or pamo I think that the government should rather focus on expanding the jobs and making sure say the right thing is done. Yeah.
Okay. Now, yesha a normal wa file Eco RTI Commission. Then I'll say,
the decan my file 2 RTI request. The first RTI request in the call Ghana Statistical Service.
Okay.
Once President Mahama Kasa was State of the Nation
address, yeah.
Or say a idea obaye no nipa 1 million na etimenye ejuma in various institutions. Until the first RTI media co and they say me pay a breakdown of 1 million jobs. The number of people in the public sector.
Ghana Statistical Service non provider ma.
So because president and so in his sona no. Yeah. Page 13 paragraph 4 or reference say according to the Ghana Statistical Service 1 million people have found jobs. Into me myself me they call Ghana Statistical Service they say you pay breakdown of 1 million jobs me pay breakdown of nkofo enye adwuma in the public sector, nkofo enye adwuma in the private sector and nkofo enye adwuma in other institutions. Me patcho so what I say na yenhu the number of people are enye adwuma no na yenhu baby kura adwuma no nso because of amageri say tell me na say every year bia na ban timi create 1 million jobs which means ban bia ba na say otimi follow say same model na no create 4 million jobs at the tenure of the 4-year administration na which means in the space of 10 years no unemployment unemployment ratio currently mean do 2%. Me purchase what the American say because say every year bia as a country you will model like creating 1 million jobs. Then I think it's a fantastic model. I was saying that is if it is true. That is why I am asking for the data. I'm on for P reading means to rate me president the chantro. I am not in the capacity to determine say president the chantro. The data neba ye be who say data no share me RTI request now. Me say mama me break down from go for you public institution any public institution scroll. It is a Peace FM. Afa in 100 Juma Mubetro Peace FM 100 people found jobs at Peace FM. NIT FM 500, OK FM 1000, UTV 1005, Hello FM. See, at the end of the day, you share data now. This is a breakdown in institutions are opportunities work. I remember no bit my head and any Juma ye. Ni who say I am past president, you know, I create 1 million jobs. Sesana or kana because president here president among for PR reach out to me say omuji president nidia enye ye nsema president ne kano omuji nidia enye ye because the president they have every reason not to trust the president because the president has not lived up to expectations.
Na ebasa jobs kafra jobs aya ye kan betwe ye create jobs when you can hundreds of thousands million jobs aban bia ba oka Sadia no enye mfutro bi na an ye tugu se wo susu se e bia wonje dia president ne kan ye ndia enya dia ya politicians wo de edada ya hwe bazi
asema mekania ne se enye se eyendada per se but the point is that we have to hold our leaders accountable. We have to be able to hold our leaders accountable to make sure whatever they are doing, they are living up to expectation, doing the right thing. Media document and I don't want to sound prejudicial for anybody to think maybe I made the Ghana Statistical Service for name. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt to response. Many unofficial indication from them that they are going to respond to it. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt to respond. The second RTI request I'm the coin and say, the president Mahama so kind is soon or some sooner corona Friday no page 35 or can say Yoko, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, I recover 600 million CDs from corruption.
Yeah.
My second RTI is to request for the decline cases bang and I'm recover as 600 million Ghana CDC because in the interest of public good public governance and accountability and transparency no ora yomu ye hunde de bebre e ka ho sem bebre ansa na yedi obi be court krom timi ko gina dwem no ma ya announcement of amageri ye wi o man nisika no de says kana kwa koto adan 500 e wo Oyarefa estate nti se ne si yetimi a recover say sika no ebia then it is very important say yebe hu cases cry it may recover the said monies if free mo. So that's the first thing I maybe. So the second thing I'm asking is that we also want to know the case titles. Because case be a investigate be a case no title. Case be a court be a no. Case no then our title. Into it is very important say we know the case titles of the various recovery now. The thirdly no. We beside the dates of the recovery. Say you recover sika free be a Magjerry ho e be a January you recover 1 CD free Magjerry ho, February you recover 2 CD free Kwesi Bocho, March you recover 3 CD free Asumes yo, December you recover 10 CD free Obentin ho. We have to know the dates of the recovery. Finally, now I'm asking for the nature of the offenses it may recover is can free mo. Say corruption I was see it me ho. Say a bribery I was see it me ho. Say embezzlement, I will say to him, say stealing, I will say to him, say fraud and so I will say it to me because Ohe Yoko laws and no share your criminal justice system now. You presuppose is of recovery from criminal cases. Me patch what the American say. So it is very important say ora one there. Then we need to know Yoko must be able to fully disclose information. They have to be able to disclose information with. And I don't think say Yoko should find it challenging in providing this information because unfortunately, the leader of the Yoko team, the executive secretary, or a former media practitioner, Mwamunya Remondacha. So what I say. But even though I have my personal reservations about his track record in his private, endeavors before being a Yoko boss, let's also give him the benefit of the doubt to respond to it because the time we're a journalist, are not per sensational stories, but to be here. A lot of former ministers, Bibrina de Nekokot, Jogate, AG, or publishing 4 story about Jogate de Nekokot, or publishing 4 story about Asabi. Someone making a matter of public knowledge, I'm sure you are aware.
There be a Nasa, one more the Kokot, Nijana or case, how was it? Says, I say, the fact will be publication of video.
In fact, in the case, Duduana or Honoma or Copacha, was there? Yes, Anna. They give they walk court for defamation na say be alba now be patch now show remorse na say journalist mo jume mo fe bibi same publication or say equal publication. There is a term like that. So Oma also apology
the same
publication court need to make sure so say nephew wa pouch and now because of the persons involved that maybe near senior government officials of the Kufuor administration in omutimi man slide. But nipa ba kwa one man dey slide was the former foreign affairs minister. I think the near friend of OSEI AGYEMAN or something like that. Former foreign affairs.
Now, MP. Just
I know. Foreign affairs minister is true.
Yeah, or be a foreign
affairs minister.
One
funny there nanche. Emma court in the car boy say Yemfa Raymond Dacha for contempt for about $1 million.
Now, how does it got to do with
what I'm saying is that if I time no one a track record in the private sector. Once you go on ma, obi to say papa say Kwame despite and say abembia ba no in the trade minister. Aseme be can say o share the track record as a private businessman ABC na why then go to my year. Once you do public sector education and he will deliver. All what I'm saying is o share Remondacha track record as a private businessman or a private journalist or whatsoever. His track record is to publish sensational stories. But I do not want to believe, say, 600 million cedis now, president in a car from Yoko, no, it's an exaggerated or inflated figure. That is why I have invoked my right as a citizen to write an RTI request to Yoko to provide the details of it. And I am very optimistic, say, they should respond. This shouldn't take, a long time. Because
it's not to say figures in our president kind of, wouldn't
you see, I've already mentioned, say,
yeah.
Me personally, President Mahama you be a na me GDD pa. Me personally, but say, it's an in your ma President Mahama na. Ama me GDD me woman and a swaba form, a swatia form. Who him the intia?
Any day.
Answer na President Mahama beba bidi akunya in 2024 Ghana for besa laya to Abaman. One of the major reasons in tia Ghana for a sorry to Abaman and say no a share in Crawford 1 million people. Omo de adwuma omo ye ne se omo dokoko wa show omo bo se oba aban na e wo so no tuo omo ka 3,100 Ghana cedis na sa sika no aban no ewie omo e tutu butom aban ne bo omo kalabule aban ne bo omo apo aban ne yo 419 as at that time enti no ba obeba betua between 6,000 to 7,200 Ghana cedis ama kokoko ekuafo no ma ye nananam me papa me nana koko ekuafo me ko school St. Martin Senior High School me de koko scholarship na koye because me nana do koko e wo Ingiresi se onim Ingiresi a uku
Ingiresi ya kumase kwan ya so
o do koko ono e koko krache ye koko nkabom ku e wo ho no mu pani ba ko pa etime me de koko scholarship and the co school enne otimi hwe sa me nana ni mo no we did 90 years sa me nana no yo bi na abato nsense me mfa ne ho but 2024 elections of frame make a me say Menana, minim so MPP ni, nenso President Mahama si oba be my 7,200 per bag. Mo ba yin so de 3,100 na mo ye de mo de my inteni e koto aba ma President Mahama me ne me manfo eko to Obama president mama say na be ya oba obeti mama 7,200 na onana me nso megyae wo frɛ a wo hu beto won kran ho ama wo so wetima ball bra because a young man a oni yere nim eniba na me see you nana we dey waka mintimi nka say uyedie no fa to nchen 7,200 dey eye 3,100 because it's even almost triple money.
Now, I didn't 7,200 and 6,000. You are quoting the old.
No, and then the bush of
6,000. But they are getting what to force in one. 6,000. Yeah.
No, I have the.
Why the car 7,200? No, president.
No, there be.
Nyaboche.
Eric Opoku was their leading spokesperson on agriculture. Yenya wa bem na cocoa board agriculture ase. It is Eric Opoku as the ranking member in parliament for the agriculture committee Bekasema, and also as the spokesperson for the manifesto committee on agriculture Bekasema. We have every reasonable belief say I am penning in Chenif, but I to forcing 6,000 per bag, you know. Over my Jerry and in me say in trying to maybe the publication number. In fact, we crown Ghana force on to about more on 10 January 2025. Since say I will raise the price of cocoa from 3,100 Ghana cedis to 6,000 cedis per bag in my capacity as finance minister. And only get time and not over appointment committee in the morning. And now because appointment committee body as finance minister designate. No nyam converting here. Now occurs as new year. Economists be a friend Mary upon. I think that Saturday the economist no one of my sister stations ne din komo. A friend Mary upon a financial economist. I catch and say Koko na nya Ghana na yehye bo no wa ha. So what you say? Inti bibia betimesi inti ato force and promise or the beko sister onya abotre. Ato force and respond ne ka sembi e kire ne say ato force called into that show to respond the economists to say that we have thoroughly examined the data and we are certain that this choice is both feasible and essential. He clarified. Say omunim di omo be ya eye den ya Koko ekuafo ndi omo 6,000 e de en to mfa ho a omo betuaka. Enne den na ye witness aban say ono de 3,100 na MPP aban wo ho Moses aban ne criminally managed the economy na sa aban no etwi Cocoa board condemn sa aban na say Cocoa board ama Cocoa board atete apansam no sa 3,100 cedis na aban boni ni tua no omo se omo ya aban papa ni de sa 3,100 cedis ni kromu ntimi ntua wo na emu aban papa ni mum ete so about 2,587 Ghana cedis inti aban mienu we no fa de we na ya aban boni Abaya say yehu. That is why I am telling you say. That is why I'm telling you. You see the conversation about international market.
As I say no, it is a
very intelligent question you've asked. But you see, the question of international market and global financial impact have consequences for Ghana. So no, we have been told times with that number. I will studio her NDC reps or mobile hand say. Russia-Ukraine war by a catch on say into Kwesi, Russia-Ukraine. Russia is the second largest producer of crude oil in the world. In Tinabasa, ye de tabua to Russia, so Ukraine, so yentiminya fan go fion. And the pressure beba demand the nebe kosro. And the pressure beba the other suppliers. So in the day, ya fan go boy be day. Ebe kosro, fan go boy so kosro. Only say inflation be day. Ebe kosro, cost of living. Ebe kosro. Asema makache and say Russia-Ukraine war na e kosro no. Yen two bomb biya mba Ghana haye. Intin global impact ni de ye fan to hu baby na ye kura ye nya so mfaso. Sa na makache me pacho ene akate be na ETC global market ni so ebi every Ghana cocoa ETC cocoa so ese cocoa. Intino sa global market na Ghana per the NDC logic. Ghana is immune from global impact from the NDC logic. And so let's go by the same logic. If that logic, if that logic, no. Let me land on this. Let me land on this.
Okay.
If that logic was valid to the NDC, and Tieni carefully was valid to the NDC, because I didn't subscribe to that logic, and I still don't subscribe to that logic. If that logic was valid to NDC for in 2024, then it is valid today because nothing has changed.
But that logic was disputed. President Mahama. Oko kasai wa Harvard.
Oko kasai wa Harvard no.
Okay, oko
kasai wa Harvard.
Global wenenya.
Oko kasai wa Harvard no say. Enu na debi enu kada nya Harvard. Na Nigeria. Na Nigeria. Na world leaders meeting bi na oko kasai wa ase. say the global Russia-Ukraine war.
Yeah, affect
adverse impact on African economy.
Yeah.
Okoka asa say 2 weeks time pepe na NDC4 omo unveiling of omo vice presidential candidate na Jane unveiling UPSA. No, because Russia-Ukraine war, it's a blessing in disguise for Ghana. And MPP Nyason for sure.
Okay.
That is President Mahama for you. And I hope you remember all these things. Absolutely. So the point I want to make is
President Mahama inaugural speech. And also demonstrating my who say. So can be people opposition. That time, share some more kind.
So do you know
it tells you, say,
so
global impact.
So do you know what? So do you know what the president must do?
And then
the president must acknowledge that he played politics with Nyama no nim say enya no kre. Nyama no nim pass global impact na consequences were Ghana so no onene ne party for the year politics. Say Russia Ukraine war I affect Ghana. Into onpa kokwe kuafo ne chew. Say we de me na mekan but in sema mekan ni ano. With the benefit of hindsight and me hu say man kan yi. Say ne be ya yenso ye ni kokwe kuafo de be sympathizing. But the claim say MPP are running down cocoa board. So NDC phone baha omokasa ansem ni bi say MPP ye di cocoa board sikenia.
Even honorable Isaac Adongo say
na ye free
say bibi wo ho say akema cocoa akuafo de enfia on be
na
mu MPP for o man e cocoa.
That honorable Isaac Adongo ne dey na me pese me kana say because he's a wannabe economist. Into on the yemfa na asem to baby on there. He's not somebody that we even have to waste our time on. But you see the point is that so almost say MPP are running down the economy. The first point I want to make on this matter is that is why MPP we are in opposition. It is not the job of Dr. Bawumia to pay the cocoa farmers. It is not the job of His Excellency President Akufo-Addo to pay the cocoa farmers 6,000 Ghana cedis now mo promise you know. NDC for promise cocoa farmers 6,000 na etu nsi omoso. Na enfia nsi omoso. No bia amfo muti nse jem. Say by force, or Mungo promise cocoa farmers 6,000 out of their voluntary free will or more political power. No promise almost bomb to your 6,000. And yet, President Akufo-Addo and there was he blaming and say for the inefficiencies of cocoa board. You see, and cocoa board in the same way, and we all have to come to terms to say cocoa board about baby due to poor leadership and due to poor oversight by the government. NDC Babemo. Now, cocoa bag per ton on the international market in January was about $11,000. February, it was about $11,000. Between January to April, it was between $11,000 to $9,000. From May, June, July, Horban, and about 7,000, 6,000, and then started to say airdrop. Even within that time, were they able to tell $11,000 per ton? Were they able to pay the cocoa farmer the 6,000 Ghana cedis they promised? They couldn't pay it. And you know, so claim ni say cocoa board wo kemu ni ade MPP ye free abemo. Ni ye ja cocoa board for sika $500 million in the Ghana International Bank account London. $500 million cash. Ye di ja Ghana cocoa board. Ebiem between January to April, honorable to force na ma yeti ase wo parliament say cocoa board revenue omenya nkwa $1.8 billion. Because of time na cocoa no ewo between $11,000 to $10,000. Cocoa board trading on ye no. Profit omunya yo, but on first is canon farmers no. Profit omunya was $1.8 billion. And the cumulatively ukaboma sika na revenue cocoa board enya ye in the year 2025 na $3.9 billion. All the Ghana cedis close to 39 billion Ghana cedis. Me purchase what the American say. But regardless of say sika we omunye ni ano. Cocoa farmer na onunti cocoa empenifo moten kran ehun atom no. The point is that say sika ni bia nko omobotom. This is the first time in the history of this country sika cocoa ekuani botom no. Yate so. E bin see that in the history of this country. Yati cocoa boss wati cocoa boss ewe German so
we compare
yati cocoa for my German for no see what point so yati cocoa boss so ewe German so yati so in 2018 yati cocoa boss on the international market by 38%. Sika cocoa ekuafo ho yante so in 2022 during COVID-19 period no yet global cocoa prices eso equal from sika cocoa for bottom yante so enti na dia ba say na for the first time in the history of this country yate cocoa bo also international market in tia it was say the cocoa farmer and a suffer the hit. Oftentimes the government need to me hedge. So what you say? Say na be ya cocoa farmer no em face impact, but because I buy we ndwi nipa ho, I buy we ni cocoa ekuafo no ndo makoma so. I buy we na dada cocoa ekuafo ni de nya tumi ewie ndi abroni fe ni defrauding by false pretense no. It say no mo fa cocoa ekuafo and around the abia cocoa bot you. Wa engage cocoa ekuafo nankasa de. They have not been engaged by anybody in the topmost hierarchy of the Ghana Cocoa Board. Until Farmer Jerry, coming back to my point, say MPP ye free abayamun ye ja Cocoa Board revenue of in fact the whole of 2025 no Cocoa Board made a revenue of $3.9 billion, 39 billion Ghana cedis, $3.9 million. Now the question is that where is the money? Sikane way. Cocoa Board so omuni ska omudi betu ekuafo ka, but ene omonye ska e dey ato 150 pickups. Ama cocoa staffers across the country. Enye sika to 4 twin turbo Land Cruiser V8. Ama cocoa executive directors e wo Cocoa Board. President Mahama Land Cruiser ni bi. Cocoa Board CEO ni fi ho no. Wako renovate ho air condition wo ho ni ya sesa no green grass e wo from okra. No, the money is that the point is that the money belongs to the cocoa.
And sika de kwa ni ye sika.
Eye cocoa farmers ni sika.
Was here cocoa farmers.
Na cocoa board ni fa no munyom sika free.
So the point is na cocoa board so would they work within a budget?
No, but where does
when one more say one more day bibi of friend one more will be of friend is sweeping. One more say beans ni bi wo ho a enye viable somebody be call a market space no international market space. It is a business one more turn the local producers. One may use a cocoa beans in locally say sikano and I'm going to talk say no am way out. That is the explanation given.
But the point is
when you
the point is still that the point that I'm trying to make is that Sikana Cocoa Board for no, they got it from the sweat of the cocoa farmer. Cocoa beans, no cocoa board, India cocoa ho. Cocoa house a one cry, India cocoa ho. Into cocoa beans no mean free, and your cocoa you afford no mean free. So the point I'm making is that Cocoa Board officials, are living in a luxurious manner at the expense of the ordinary cocoa farmer. Me pa just what the American say. Land Cruisers for muko toye. Cocoa you afford never so be no benya wo so. Enti magjai. Insema make ni an say. Abai we ni nya aban odi omudi yeyi. Abai we ba o ka che say teacher for licensure exams obo betwem. Ene den na ye hu wadada teacher for. Abai we ba ye o ka che next for so obo next for benya automatic posting. Man we 1 year pacho we automatic posting be. Next for ye juma 11 months into omokaye. That is the reality. But when we go for new opportunity, no better here. No more can say it is true. No, it you see, I've always maintained say it is true. Say the macroeconomic indicators of this government are pointing to the right direction. However, it is also true that the statistics and the figures do not match the reality. And I mean, no, say inflation, a single digit,
3.8.
Now, so you are too canny by 28%. Despite media, first every month, say na moto prepaid 1,000 Ghana cedis, say moto 5,000 Ghana cedis. It is true. Say inflation is single digit because you are too canny prepaid electricity tariffs by 28%.
Now say accumulatively, I say I buy.
No, the whole year. I buy the buy in 1 year. What 28%. Me purchase what I say. If fear me fear me nkwana me take. First, and every month be na me to prepaid. My to abros were 800 Ghana cedis. And then me to 800 Ghana cedis at the mid 10 days. That is the reality. Opa bio phone lines ni tum na Ghana for free. Opa feedback
it is the reason to a minister.
But inflation, yes, it was single digit.
Yes, are prepaid or
single digit. But the point is that whether prepaid or the thing I'm talking about, impact our consumers ni yenya Ghana for yenya. Inflation is single digit. No crack say inflation, but cost of living is skyrocketing. University of Ghana, hostels near ya 2 buonim by about 20%. University of Ghana school fees ya 2 buonim, but inflation is single digit. Inflation is single digit. Doctor for some year juma in Chiomoka. Me did say what he be nanu yaka. Me ti some person year demonstration was saying. And inflation is single digit, but there's a lot of hardship and suffering in the system. People are suffering. Abai we nsem oba ya inti Ghana for ekan ya inti Ghana for to aba mom nia. Abai we ama Ghana for nse form. Abai we ka just oba abema within the first 120 days or the AI best of Galamsey as part of their 120-day commitment. And then Galamsey has worsened. And the painful thing is that the government is a complicit in Galamsey menace. You know? Do you know why I'm saying that the government is a complicit?
Yeah.
We are being told today by the NDC constituency chairman for Memphis Central, said the MC in a Memphis Central is involved in Galamsey. But your MC in one and all representing one Memphis Central.
The not just about your accomplice.
There be a question, maybe some person answer me. MC in one or representing one Memphis Central.
Or representing the president.
Absolutely. So if the chairman is telling us that the MC is a complicit, is the MC not the government representative or the president representative in a Memphis Central?
Series of
arrests. It
arrests.
makes the government a complicit. Yeah, MPP wa abem. Omo ka kire say Kufuado ebusuafo ne tu Galamsey. But say na MPP ni abem.
And member subscribe to
Galamsey and say gusu koso. And then ukọ me krom ye inresi. So what I say me fan free inresi me free kwa. Nti almost every weekend be am fasa akwa ni so. Udru Osino police station. Police station in Chawan issue na da hon ye tu Galamsey one impunity daytime. They say na manfo have been burdened. Yenti kroma na wow near Rastos Asari Donko. Echere se okwa Ashanti regional. Omo head of Omo security coordinating council no. It's involved in Galamsey. So there are so many instances across where echere se abai we mu nkrofo no. It's involved in Galamsey and President Mahama. Uko ni krom bolia because of the black voter extension. Hon madani Galamsey zone. Does the president feel proud as an indigenous of Bole? Say then you chrome Bole. Among for two Galamsey or more bedrooms. Among for two Galamsey with impunity. It is a worrying situation. It is a situation that needs urgent attention. This government must set up enough of Kasan Dorso. Excuses ne Dorso. Ghana fund to about more for excuses. Ghana fund to about more for optics and for PR. Ghana fund to about more say they should get to work. Omo tinas no munye jumano. Majari, me, I don't wish for NDC to fail. MPP doesn't wish for NDC to fail. NDC failure in free mo. NDC doesn't need to fail for MPP to be successful in the next election because election is a contest of ideas. What superior ideas and Ghana for to show sitting normally at 2 but there's no show sitting 2 about in 2024. No. But the NDC year year near home betoyen. People that make one say, but you to people now. Is there a place here? Because say, are you an MPP member or you are an NDC member? And sana ya tonga Send me turn on sana abemu for the turn. Just abemu for because they be government wa abemu intino. Maybe they receive some extra income that I don't know for a fact. But the point I'm trying to make is that say abayno ye niyama ebema ye niya ye ho atoya tima mu for ye niya ye be benefit. It's not a matter of politics. Until nesra abayno, they should get to work. They should sit down and make sure say promises or mother ma ye Ghana for niya no omu diso. Maybe me the omu manifesto aba. We share on jobs and then count jobs. Another time I'll come and then we find time.
Jobs,
and then we deal with the issues.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 2024 manifesto now. Almost say what you then you actually
I said go see jobs, accountability and prosperity. Yeah.
Resetting Ghana.
Yeah.
So this is the NDC 2024 manifesto. Now, Osha chapter 2 now, but you then
jobs for all.
Jobs for all. What is it? Now, Osha page 19 now, me babe the various models are almost say Ghana for 2 about more in 2024. Now some babe more, almost some models and be creative jobs. The first model waha. And they said the 24-hour economy. But you obey me, I don't can be kind of rough man about you, mama.
24-hour economy,
Into almost say, where paragraph 3, almost say job creation will therefore be the topmost priority of the next NDC government. We will implement revolutionary and transformational policies to create sustainable, decent, and well-paying jobs. This include the following: 1, 24-hour economy. A deliberate policy to encourage and support businesses and public organizations to operate 24/7 in 3 shifts of 8 hours to boost production, promote productivity, and generate well-paying jobs. What the battery man?
And so by now, shut up, yes, say you're the babuana, Mebunanya, you might know.
Not just a Juma nipa baku ye bian, say nipa miensa. Every 8 hours be a 1 Me patro ne abai organizations saying
That's what my
And
pass.
yeah,
I feel no my pass bill. That's about no pass bill.
No, but you see, it's a very good question. But Osha bill ni ma. So you say me a lawyer. So I have interrogated the 24-hour economy. In fact, they say act because the president has assented to the act. Absolutely. There's nothing like 133 in the act. NDC rep Baupa Bisano. So until a section cry what act in ma. I say the kind of manifesto imun. A reflective or more acting. So the act, there's nothing like 133 in the act. There is nothing like that. There is nothing like say Ejuma Bakuni Patre Bayo on Treshim. There is nothing like that in the act. So the act is a complete deviation of this policy document, NDC 4 manifesto 2024 manifesto. Anybody can prove me wrong and say act in section ABC the Trese by 133 in the 24-hour economy act. It's a complete deviation. But just what the American say, a complete deviation. All what the act sees to suggest, they say, 24-hour economy, no, they are going to create an enabling environment. Create an enabling environment for businesses to what? To strive. That is what they promised. But they didn't promise anything like 133 in the act. Again, number 2. Almost another mechanism provided jobs to the Women's Development Bank. Almost a special purpose bank to support women-owned and women-led businesses with low interest loans and other tailored financial services on very flexible terms. But the most important part too, this is aimed at the economic empowerment of millions of Ghanaian women. Of Amajari, when so say NDC are buying this or mobile bank beer. About 1 million of young man or person who into trading. Me patcho 1 year down the line. Baba benefited from the Women's Development Bank.
That's my.
Am I?
Yeah.
That is why I am saying, say, they have not lived up to expectation. The Ghanaian people are crying for the 24-hour economy. The Ghanaian people are crying for the Women's Development Bank. The millions of women are waiting for your government. This government to empower them with the Women's Development Bank. Ghana for money so train train say Women's Development Bank never 2025 0. And when you say mark your 24-hour economy no, you be mark your 0 in 2025. Women's Development Bank you be mark your 0 in 2025. Now to the next thing. The next thing almost be creative jobs is the Ejumera program.
The
Ejumera program. A Jumera program no my training say 1 year. Almost every year be empower youth 10,000. I'm on when ya funding skills or motivate my year Juma. O de tie de omokan my main kind of manifesto no. The Jumera program, a special business startup policy aimed at facilitating the creation, tracking and mentoring of a minimum of 10,000 businesses annually with a special focus on young people. Me pacho mentoring and creation and tracking of 10,000 businesses annually 2025 or the business back home and it may interest you to know say it may interest you to know say Ejumera no omo ye say omo be allocate 100 million cedis every year to fund the Ejumera program. 2025 budget at forcing parliament G2 mu allocation of the Ejumera was just about 23 million. Enti no menti manya Ejumera program no. Enti do omo ye capacity training sessions. And your my training for 13 months. Now soldier training cry how many months? Military training how many months near kono? Sikaka kra mo de be man memnu mo de aye adwumentin Monday to Friday. Mo ko training kwa 13 months, 1 year, 1 month. Omo ko ye diploma kra nka by na nka omo ya graduate. Etin say o de ememnu fa sa ndada yi mu a. The Ejumera program hasn't been able to support even a single business. Of Amajari,
yeah,
they are also me no. Almost be create digital jobs initiatives. I'm going to be digital because they say once you call digital space near there. Into mobile. Of Amajari, what be you? Into the omokan. Almost say under digital jobs initiative, a $3 billion investment in partnership with the private sector to leverage ICT for the creation of jobs through the following programs. 1 million coders program. 1 million young Ghanaians will be trained in digital skills such as coding, web development, software engineering, among others, for jobs in the digital ecosystem. And then NDC aban ne buy no. According to our manifesto, almost some training 1 million coders. Coders and my training 2025 of a Jerry. Coders, no musa no mutimi training omo. Omo yo pilot program. No nim de omo Sam George. I call launch a pilot program now. Unim coders omo de omo pilot program 250. Coders 250. Say under Sam George Ministry 250 coders. And omo de omo pilot program. Now say open resource papa for 1 million coders. I didn't put 250 na year. So clearly no. Ayen dada a hands on the best score almost zero. Almost omo ba.
Na ma say omo share bi. Omo share bi.
There be omo started training. What I'm saying is that there be omo share bi. The omo say omo here ni a pilot program. Oh yeah, pilot program, and that is not a training itself. People just what the American say.
But some policies are buying policies be bra pilot. Or the kind pilot one sana.
For my journey. Also be training 1 million coders ah. Be training 1 million coders ah. The whole year. That's a when man trainee. That's a when man trainee. 500,000 krona. Then what are you trying to tell the Ghanaian people? Also we're training 1 million. The whole of 2025 zero. Ebiem. Almost your mobile. Omobeba be number 6 agriculture for jobs. And this ni no beba ha no. Obe be kwa me the manifesto ibeja. Bisa no one by one say we mu ni akosi say. Bisa no one by one.
Agriculture for jobs na ide.
Omba be agriculture for jobs. The next NDC government will implement innovative policy strategic investment to change or to make agriculture attractive through modernization. This is aimed at food security and job creation. Agriculture no mo say omo bo mema na attractive. Ye nananum cocoa farmers ne kra ne ama omo haircut. How do you make agriculture attractive? By reducing the amount of money that directly goes into the pocket of the cocoa farmer. You are rather demoralizing young people from going into cocoa farming.
But say I can't agree and crops bro. One would be out.
President Mahama was so na say well distributing 700 poultry birds to how many districts? How many?
Yes, 720,000.
But say no kind.
Okay, 720,000 number. But say they slip and they will should admit.
Oh no, but how do I know say a slip?
Slip.
No, how do I know say a slip?
Okay, some me na me paint me call parliamentary hands at na one capture as 720,000. That was Enra.
That's fine. But the point is that San Koko Kitty initiative in the crown. How many Ghanaian young people want to engage in cocoa initiative? Cocoa near one of the major agricultural subsets in this country. Now, we had the idea cocoa for now. How does it then encourage you as a young person to go into agriculture? It's of a majority. In some Kenya,
by microphone, yeah.
In some Kenya, say this government has not lived up to expectation. This government is not a government we can trust. This government, you are buying your catch yourself from because buying winning in Crawford, your mom cannot cry.
Is that
when your mama born it, I buy no one cannot cry. I buy no end cannot cry. Until all what we are saying is the government should get work.
I buy in 1 year. Into the second term near.
I grow better.
I grab a friend of Pandy and Yamamo.
Oh, Debbie. In Pennyfo Boo Mobile, I grow better if you are not. So be boa will be bet my baby 1 year no me. Now 1 year crown to me now. 2026 trema 2027 year election year no then I buy bet my history has taught us that I buy be a bar election year on yehe. But also what the American say 2025 and now buy no goodwill crown to man yehe. One of the major achievement of Aban when he say a president ni new launch new private jet.
No, they achievement.
Oh, they say achievement.
When you see can work on.
The president you
Hold on.
Be a president ni nia. Enyo bi eye mampani ni nia, enyo bi keke. O ka so bi a now person say obi eye mampani ni nia.
Mampani ni so what?
Mampani ni nia.
Into there.
And now launch private jet for airport.
$70 million private jet.
$70 million private
businessman. What got on private jet?
Okay, mami can you be? Okay, mami can you be? NDC abai ba abemu 1 year ni. O say ye more time. Granted without the
men can say ye more time. They say abai no over the second year.
Abai no the second year. Inti politics here omunye ni a ye nya bo chere mo omunye sa.
It's early days yet. So because we are by the chantro. Why?
Yeah, funny say early days yet. Yeah, funny say early days yet. Yeah, early days yet. No, mampenini nuya. Mampenini tu kwa mbia ne jata private jet no use. Because mampenini say, anasa abaye ne say, ye private jet no. I say. Didn't you President Kufuor for private jet? If you President Kufuor no ni nuya bi ani wo private jet ni nuya ne beka say offer nye rounds. Into President Kufuor de no ko baby no ko high jet ni bi. Baba we buy any there. Aban we say omo de omo high jet ni bi say mampanini nuya no o jet ni bi a omo de be den. Mampanini tu kwan omo de beko. Enne ye nya nti yes say mampanini jet no wo no. O mienu dada. What you say? Or green jata there no. And the white jet na your mother domestic travels no. And the yenyan in TSA mampenini nuano. I say ye jet for fra ne bono a year $70 million. So the bag Ghana is ma 700 million Ghana cedis. 1 million Ghana cedis bakum yenu miensa sa 700 million. What the quantity sick anima? What the quantity sick anima? 70 trillion old cities.
What does it mean?
Inti asemba mekanise ye early days yet ne de. Mampenine tima ye hwe ha ma ninnua.
Akwakoto mampenine. Ninnua a businessman. Akwakoto the private jet. O mampenine ye de enfa.
Na se mampenine private ninnua.
Ninnua so run business ye de. Enya Ghana happen o business.
Ninnua ndo a businessman kese pa. Na ninnua ne se mampenine no use ninnua ne private jet no. So it presupposes and so to me use no use my policy no.
I
don't know use no use. No, so when you no ko high be. The only recent time on use here 3 days ago my penny call. There be I don't know use. There be no use. Now my penny here foreign traveler jet be no use of my jet. Let's not belabor this point. Until 2 days ago na me hu say my penny ne call Tanzania na recent visit here na me hu say o my high private jet for farmer na enye jata na de no call. But every travel be our kobiano. Jata no use ni nya jet. So the price of both is $70 million jet here be. Be a mampenini never betenem.
Na so mampenini tinem na enfa camera ya is it no better? Okay, ni mama jet. Inte ni nua jet.
Ni nua jet.
Where you su.
Ni nua na koto.
No the two kwan na enfa camera ya.
Enti mampenini enti man tu ni nua ne for say. Bro, that time I koto sa jet 70 million yi. And that's why you my 11 months. Mean to your
okay, your mind
and that's why we don't know for a fact your mind's gonna your mind's gonna. We don't know for a fact. We don't know for a fact. But the point I'm making is that considering the hardships among for Kumuno, considering the circumstances, I think say a very insensitive. Just imagine say you Ghana ha. Na you better so you say President Kufuor Nua Kenufuyata. And I Gabi Asayochi da kwa to private jet worth $70 million. Feda nke besi wo krum ha. From Jerry, imagine the besi wo krum ha. Imagine keke for a second. Say yes, Mampeni Kufuor ye president no. Gabi Asayochi da kwa na ono nso aye a practice law for close to 35 years wana brabo. Our law firm, the law firm no. He has law firms in 13 African countries. Ono nso akoto private jet. Just imagine for a second what would have happened in this country. Benedie, people want us to believe say a normal say Mampeni nua a businessman a normal say with me $70 million akwakoto private jet into normal obi just few years ago not the UT bank for kakro ntimi ntua and they normal say with me $70 million akwakoto jet into emfa say normal. It is insensitivity. It is insensitivity.
Anyway, I don't subscribe to say no man Kano.
Oh,
me I heavily disagree say family and friends. Family and friends, so what? Maybe once I'm your president and I mean you be qualified. And now because you said the minimum wage. Now we qualify and say why you lawyer as young lawyer. Now what you might that's a minimum na me say be attorney general.
Unfortunately, you see.
Yeah, I disagree totally. With I have disagreed and still disagree with those things.
But unfortunately,
yeah.
Abaye omo akonya omoti akonya so ene. They don't agree with you. Unfortunately,
one more opposition and one more enemy.
One ideology.
No, there's a politician. There's one more opposition that they will disagree
because so Nimsa Joyce Bawa one a special advisor, special aid to the president.
And sending you yes.
Or you related? Related?
Yeah.
Nimsa Joyce Bawa Ninia Bema and Nana Virus State Housing. Nimsa Ninia MD. Joyce Bawa Ninia MD.
And I am not aware.
No, I'm telling you, it's a matter of public knowledge. You can check the MD for State Housing. That's just
Yeah, the Crawford baby essence sign. Na do come say ninia
and there be where the ninia. Intino Magjai sa family and friends ne there. Eye niama eno so san common nso no. Opesi ekuma ye betima kom bebre. Ninia ye friend John Bawa. Ono CEO State Housing. Ofa si edu nketi aba na se wa resign first on no the CEO for Ofa chief of staff Victoria Tay on a branch manager for Boston. Ofa Stan Dogbe Ninia Wallingham Dogbe on a deputy director general for Senate. Ofa Naomi Walali Kwoti NDC General Secretary, ne and a Consolidated Bank of Ghana, Omupeni. Ofa Elembele Keke, my and the Keke of Bahi. And yan wafane Lance Minister.
Amagofi boy.
And yan Elembele Keke, and deputy CEO for
on the no Akasa and Wafana. It's not because I saw qualified. Elembele Keke, because the credentials or call land no.
Mampenino, Ibrahim Mama. Ne lawyer. Unim say ne lawyer Fred Raymond Chumesi Ankra. Ono na ne lawyers ne back ono ye ene yafa na CEO for Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation. Ne lawyer back so ano Edmond Engineers and Planners and ono deputy CEO for Minerals Commission in charge of Finance and Administration. It is all person me bobo family and friends na Joshua Alabi board chairman for Ghana Commercial Bank. Neba Goski Alabi sorry, Neba Naomi Alabi, deputy CEO for Ghana Tourism Development Corporation. Nigeria Goski Alabi, University of Mines, for also board chairperson. And the Usha, it's an hour canon. Family and friends in India, of course, we are abiding. But if the people are competent, I don't have an issue like you don't have an issue. But due to their Nyama, a baimu when crop for a kind in opposition. And then I'm an about an issue. Marjay, and you made the Mamifa Kunya Suna Minda was Sibi na media minimum per crop about the but that be now a Quenya Bia and NDC Nibia Bedin Comobiano. Guide them to speak to the issues. You see, guide them to speak to the issues. It's not a matter of personal attack. It's about facing, dealing with the issues one after the other and accepting the reality that the statistics is in contradistinction with the reality.
Okay. Lawyer Kwesi Boche Lawyer Kwesi Boche Jr., member of the MPP, private legal practitioner, on an net Yanidi Nkomo 1-on-1. Ewa Haseya Wachre Nomemo. We share RTI Commission in Norma or the alcohol. And they said, yeah, a Muslim tea, or no, Yanudi won't come out. Watch it be the NTA. Also, saw my penny figures, and no, it's a say RTI Commission or trigger na or Jinchimo Edifreo. Evans, Samoya, member of the NDC, Evans, and so on. Evans, at the time,
Yamiadum.
NDC, what to say?
But we dear Kakao, a brand, you know, Kaka, Ninsemino.
I don't know, dear.
Yes, I saw they respond to it. But most of the things are can no one can say yano.
And then a dear no kind.
Almost all that I have jotted some of them. You see, I'm happy was here, but application of logic was a little very minimal. He made mention of Koko Minfanchia Emma wa TF for na minchia era Johnson say then Katiafanchia Mayra John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana. Maybe not some now they call Mitie near Kafa RTI Assembly. Na Nankasa on Wankasa Sam Nankasa that approach. Lawyer be or be fast 7 be who say he have a certain motive. Yes. I said no call so cocky bisano. Or I didn't
to
it should Or can so baby sir.
just we're creating $1 million.
Yes. I was expecting that you should have given a contrary. If you doubt what the president saying, give a contra figure.
Undoubtedly you.
If you are not doubting, then what's your problem? Let me give you one secret.
Vivid
example.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me give you one important secret. Say, Officer Bia Sape Panbe 20 it was a political thinking. It was not generally
political thinking.
Yes. Yes, and it will not give him so much attention because so far being said, me pekwan bia so who say we are trofwa. And one benya mrama o. Or per time I say, that should have given a contrary figures to justify your claims, say. Minimi say at here no matter 20 series and as a 10 series. Now presidency say ya just 600. Now some more the it is sad dia.
And in a Yoko 600 million.
Yes. Messi and Cabrantiano. If he's doubting the figures of president, he goes to minimi say president say waje 600 but minimi say at here 500. ABC in America sir. And to prove me wrong. What I'm trying to say is say
because President Akasa on say
on Gini
or so Gidi or so on you also open chiremu and it's Yoko Munchre Ampa says 600 million and what trigger
and I make us say
Yoko
make us say
now or contrary figures I go
make us say I got trigger then say min chiremu dress obia deliberately obezo say nya can intro. It is a one gindi because minim say Yoko and I say one no where from say
say RTI
almost 10,000 but president
Yoko no so be no
minim say group is from say what's the name of the group your mo investigation by the committee they appointed to Ora minim say Ora 500 but president say ya 6 million intimate sramu montre kwan ya enu president ka say ya 6 million se mo fi say enko den montre memre time nipa dodo a ya sa sika fi but you went to just vehicle president say ya 6 million na montre mu officer bia
on can say president boam or say president akasa okay president that say ya wo mra wa ha se won ti bibia say ana wo hia nchiremu bi what triggers Amrano? Now they are called the appropriate institution.
That is true.
Yes.
But no, governance is a serious business.
Serious business.
I am coming. And officers are always busy. And to what you are saying, Kwanima, you are saying, Elkono, I won't jina so papa bi, and I say, won't jina so bia, a bebuanko so, any nimdiebi. Why I'm saying that is okay, who can also, meaning say, me research at me say, Sika. Microphone di near 500. Now President Abeka say, 6 million. It may sramu justify the claim of the president because minimisa. But who can say your President Akasa?
So who can go pay Jiremuna na wouldn't na gauza de.
It's answer President Akasa. It's answer President Akasa.
Remember yes Anet.
Meba. It's answer President Akasa. Me mama juma mo aye dia and the no mo peno on be ya no ama. Let me come back to Cocoa Board. Or can say Cocoa Board is running at a loss. Or see Cocoa Board for Enyam Faso last year. And I was expecting a lawyer who applied logic to applaud them. Because Cocoa Board ran at a loss from 2021, 2020. They were running at a loss in this country. Cocoa Board. No Mobaka. Into the first year of NDC.
Eti Cocoa Board boka ebane say na NDC mobile
2%. No, me person be say ebane say. Ebane say eso be say ebane say na NDC buy obenya mfaso. Question say obi say me no. Immediate exit no. Omo boka. Cocoa Board boka. 2023, 2024 omo boka. NDC by just 1 year. Omo nya mfaso kra ma wo kra you are referring to it. So bisa say ebanise na ye boka na mumba be yan faso about 9 months MPP aban they were not paying Cocoa Board in their period 9 months they were not paying them
they were not paying
they were not no munye sike ntu omuka Even what's the name?
9 months. 9 months. Ben, I can't want them.
9 months. 2023. They were not paid. Obi anti want them. Even this.
Cocoa board Juma your phone na say work.
Cocoa akuafo na yentu omuke. Cocoa eto na yentu aka. Yenyeska kura ni de ato. Cocoa. Me na me catch up. Find out.
Yeah.
Proving otherwise. Enunti Cocoa Buying Company.
Ade a me wo manyimu. Me
no one neti Ghana.
9 months ben
me no one neti Ghana. Let's put even that one aside.
9 months ben
let's put that one aside. Let's even put that one aside. Let's put that one. 3 consecutive years you were running at loss. You were pushed out of the capital market. So you were not giving loan. Into Kasa me krame pemisika. And this by the first year na no nyamfa so. Or Kasa me say adentina it hasn't happened before say yati Cocoa boso. Maybe Sebi. Now you apply logic. Ya catch us say Cocoa ni buy it. Let me go back to where you were referring to Ato Forsen. Ato Forsen per data available. He was referring to the dollar rate at a time and the price of cocoa at the world market at a time. When you calculate and stipulate, subtract and whatever, this is how much you be paid at a time. May calculate that time na dollar 16, 17 cedis per dollar. I am coming.
What can you say? Na part say.
Me person me can say Ato Forsen
na ekono kwa na.
O nyina so at the time or the car asem no. Say nyina so na sign. Dr. Sufos was basing his argument on the dollar rate at a time and the price of cocoa at the world market at a time. It was say per data available to us. When we calculate, translate, and change dollar rate, we can give this for this much. It is a bonus a dollar net is the world market price is you bet me to say at the amount. As much as kind. Omu buy so mu di omu asem so. Omu di asem so omu the dollar rate at the time no Emma figure. Omu the world market price at the time no Emma figure. Now the same to send your market dollar rate na abafom. World market prices so abafom. Omu enu omu hwamo. First near mamu 70%. But since a dollar rate abafom.
So percentage cocoa board and your friends say cocoa kuyani. And your percentage no duko jomo.
Medicasem.
And your percentage no.
Me van kamasem.
Bitio.
Na ye mamu 70. It since a dollar rate na abafom. Now world market price abo ye be mamu 70. Na say near de be mamu. NPP busy body. Onya sem papa nkanti hwe no abetan aka. Ato Forsen did not say anything wrong. The justification at the time was real competence at the time. So what is it happening now? So if you're a good manager, you want to sustain the economy, you will not just be paying money. You pay realistic prices. Utiasika edana kwamu efa kom ebeboa m economy no egiana naso. Ijesi here there. Send your world market price abano. Sisi akra ye mamu 70 view. Ye beba mu 90%. He was referring to world global factors affecting cocoa price at the time. What is the factors? Russia-Ukraine factor at the time you are referring to? Russia-Ukraine are still fighting today. Sisi akra Israel abeka ho. Iran abeka ho. Nothing has changed in Ghanaian economy.
Magnitude of sa war no. When
you talk about magnitude, it is higher.
But
it is now deeper. It is now deeper.
So I said the ATN and yes, I ATN.
It has been deeper than when it was. Iran, Israel, abeka. Iran, Israel, abeka. Inti asema na branch ya nekano. Ni nyina so no. Hadwin kakra. Inti mesire kokwa kurafo. NPP pe bibia ka. Omo pasama ka. Omo prebia is struggling. So benye bibi aka etia NDC. But enye jumasa. Inti asasa netie. Ato Forsen asama ekano. Sa it's relevant yesterday and it's relevant today. Or sisi ya dollar rate in there. Ni ya world market price in da. Si ya wabemu a say ni ya de bemamu. Na ya ba bemu si ya ni sanso. Na sisi ya world market price no baby ojina no. Any dollar rate ni ye jina so akese okay sadia say ni de mpo anke se mamu 70%. But na me se ni e pese e boa mu nti ye mamu 90%. Kokwaku afo yesremu. Momma ya adwumu yesremu se menka se mo adwumu na but momma ye ni na ho. na yehwe moa aban we epese edeboa. He went further talk about nurses on payment for 1 year said dey. Nurse ni be na intua neka. Nurse for na ye fa mo ansa na omo fa mo ansa na omo kare. Nurse ni be no
follow no man yo.
No, nurse or say on payment of nurse.
Ministry of Health na mu na nkasa na de nhyehyɛ yaba. Wo ma kyerɛ kwan a wo bɛfa so asa nurses no. Wo ma arrears akem eye arrears ene ye kan wan.
So it's not something like unpaid
arrears so an arrears na do. Well last week here na Ministry of Health.
Pay arrears to see idea of the politics.
Oh, I been working.
No, arrears I was thinking about payment, actual monthly payment. I was referring to
arrears. Kem. No be a year you 10 months na wuntu and can say yanka.
You are one kasa arrears or kasa arrears.
Kasa teachers arrears akem.
Yes.
Even controller kra controller
I can even call it a back pay. A back pay also.
Back pay.
I made them. It's the increment difference be na present mama by what you be. I'm an akabi. It is a
woman activate be a woman to be crying. Yes. Almost start Fridays. Woman to arrears. No.
Yes.
Woman to recently months in a when just about said December and woman to November. December and January. But I said they are kept.
I buy by 1 year per 1 month and a woman and do 1 month 1 year and a woman. If you have paid that much, if there should be a raise, 1 year should be 12 months arrears. 12 months. And they have paid part. We have the gas to come and sit and criticize the government because of within 1 year. It's sometimes I'm not privy to that idea. Say, some arrears among the man. Look, the government is in progress. Abani ye juma. Or ka juma ura ye a certain normal. Who say, no bon. Okay, what's the name? Piloting program. You have to take all the people for piloting. And intina me can say, me yaka krano. Okay, piloting programmer. Ofa nipe hina piloting. Na edu real program no aka anything. Okay, pilot. Eduma ura for now for 30% of people. You don't work a pilot na we say won ti ase. Until you bring when you are say you have to criticize. I'm going further to President Mahama Nunua Jetta Otto. One kasa wasa wakase abrante no wo 2 jet already. And sana ne brother baba aban mu no abrante wo 2 jet. Na wasa ka tobacco. Obi wo 2 jet. How can't he buy another one? Or 2 other first jet one criticize. Or second jet one criticize. The third jet I want to associate it to the brother. And the opposition no and no chani if you will buy a juma power. A juma pa. Let me go back to issue of recruitment in presidential spokesperson.
Yeah, Felix quite true for the
also, we have scrutinized the recruitment, and this number has been taken. This number we couldn't, except somebody who have little idea about administration and management. Obia oni nimdie ewo management hono. And as administration, you criticize it. They have set a table under normal circumstances. And Kabra Abanu is a well lose election. You should hold up everything. Because you are transferring certain burden to somebody. It's going to pay them. And payment is not just like you look at your expenditure and income. And strike balance about how much are you going to use to pay the people today and how much you are going to pay tomorrow. So you don't just pay. In Tankabano was well Lucy, you hold up his process of recruitment. By Yanni Sawa, 12 Guma, Bana Bezobo, almost about 1,000 of them are, and so one tears with a Obeka and this manifesto. The point is, you don't appreciate what is written in the manifesto.
Now,
and as a lawyer, he was talking about the art of the 24-hour economy. They were making an art, so they made it open. They can be 4 shifts. They can be 5 shifts. It depends on the workload. That's why they made it open. They were now yes, Ghana every 7 December 4 years a by election. We can't change it. So
and then a campaign promise and a 133. Now we do all my know.
What I'm saying is it's a law, so it should be open. We can have 4 shifts for a job. That means I'm going to create the enabling environment for that thing to happen. He has gone further to pass a law. What better I say we want to criticize, we want to talk about it, take Ghana for Ghana for us. The government has made a move. And if you don't know how to make a law, ask them, let them teach you. Because it's a law, they can't make it stringent. It has opening up. We create a enabling environment for companies to employ people. It is through the 24-hour economy. He mentioned the 24-hour economy.
But I mean, for catchy.
Or can see a 24-hour economy. Since it's a 24 economy, 24 hours in a Juma come. It can be 4 shifts, it can be 2 shifts, it can be 1 shift. Depend the workload. But we'll create the enabling environment. What do you have to criticize? Has government created an enabling environment? He went further to talk about inflation and the dollar rate. Do you think there's easy to sell the inflation back down? And it's easy to just run the economy. You mess up the economy for the last 8 years. The man has come, he has to put the house in order. When the economy is growing, it will spring, the job will just spring out, the job will just come. A Juma Nanka Sabeba. The economy fears say they will produce job as a process of economic growth. And that's what we are doing. We are setting up the pace, the business environment, the enabling environment for job to be created. And that's what the government have done within 1 year. He has taken inflation for 54 to 3 points. I was surprised. I heard Ghana inflation was 3 point something. What better how when you're criticizing? Ghana funny a best ramu. Some wadauma. Yeah, that's sorry, Didi, and now Munti. Asumdia wa Ghana hey, and I'm Ghana for Yentina Yenya. MPP, they are desperate. Omu near Mombay in nature. On market just 1 year, they are desperate. They think they can come back 2028. By end, we are not boasting, say we stay in power 2028. We just need your favor. We need consideration for the Ghanaian populace. Yes, Ramu. Ye boy who modern be a say. Ye bayade, and this are buying bayade, you are Mahama buying bayade. Na 2028 ba, Massa my queen. Na ya 20 ma panaso. See, they ye perceive the fear to name ye. We are quite saying, for the last 8 years, they declare year of road. Coffee ya quine. 24 for her quine air coso. Within this 1 year, Coffee ya quine Cape Coast to a high road, Kumasi to this road. Nina air coso.
And on MPP time in a air coso.
When I catch your mobilization, Messi Mubrako, where as the Cape Coast contractor, I cut mobilization, Grand Farmano. They were
not en coso.
Bisasa Banneman is saying. Or because of political, when say so cutting campaign be or no. Son of the year, when him say obe lusuno, obe creating sadie no. Call election so cutting. A grand quantity, person crabana and farmer no. Seven go and find out. Abayin buy, we are pay over 10 billion to contractors at Omo Yejuma. And this is also localified the economy or Mexica ba economy no more. That's what is called economic growth. That's what government in progress. Name obo boss hina. On one case, I cannot say, ni say, or can one case, ni say, Eric J. Afa, 2001 penny. Or ye piloting. Was inflation bad down? You did inflation. If you know the value of inflation and competition, that's why price of goods and services have been stable. Price of goods and services, and now say we have been able to manage the inflation. Was talking about Galamsey. One case, I'm chief of staff, none of my Galamsey. MPP chief of staff. None of my say. Abayin ben and this abayin ben.
MPP chief of staff ben and my
or say and this if we are compressing in Gamse menace. Penny be who be sir and this penny ben and no Gamse.
It's been alleged some national organizer my first right.
It is never true.
It's been alleged.
It is never true.
Oh, it is never true near there. Message been some now.
I'm also told it was alleged said the chief of staff of MPP. They were people, even President Baumia, they were giving money for people to do Gamse for them in Wasekropon. They were people, they were giving them money.
Who's the
best I can say? That's what I can say. And what I'm trying to say, government buy was setting a secretariat to manage the Gamse menace. Like, let's see that kind of commitment. Many secretary, the purpose of the secretary is to give special attention to the fight against the galamsey. Now, by Biara, the leadership of the government, meaning Yura John Mahama, Yura Sidin Katia, Yura Fifi Kote, he made mention of Fifi Kote Yere or CEO. The woman was a banker before. He was a banker. And that is his profession. Into me a banker, na mukura ba muna baby wa metumi aboa. Mentumi nye.
Nanado de na oni nuanom ma makọ.
Nanado
and I'm family and friends.
When
sometimes
no, it was depend on the level of the conversion.
When you're consistent.
No, the level of your activism.
Maybe say me tete na me bo teme. Is that what kind of inconsistency?
It would dear. Wa keka ne de na ne hia nyinya so. Me de best Ghana for say momma ya adwene momma ye ni na ho. Na ye hwe nnwuma pa yura Mahama ne NDC administration e pese de beba. Ne ebeye nso ama Ghana ye fefefe akwan a atete apansa schoolfo okwa. There was no one single innovation in any of our secondary school. No one. Even STEM schools crowd mankasa musika they couldn't complete them. You see, but this is the things of the past. Anything Ghana for my kunya say emre. You be see ni na na efe. Intermediate mesre.
Okay.
Say mama Ghana for nya abotrema ndisi aban. Ne baby bia amana efe. Amamoso mama ya kunya 2028.
High need 100.9. Yanko na yemfa calls. Also be chira wadwe nen sem ya ye de won komo. 0302257902 0302257902 0302243540 0302243540 Mamenje wadwenche beba jo majo yes I too
na won computer
nyame adom boko
na pastor no so okura moje
metamochi
yo yankopon kai ho na yanko wie yo wa sinjiri na mama fa kunya we na mentia ye penye NDC poni na suri the presidency Dr. Agyeman mo de bonia na mentia ni sami ya bonia na mama ajo Majali NDC ni no awoti for no awoti people party na nka woni assembly of the kanka won kofi nkoda boko na Ghana ye gutile promise promise Ghana to omo Obama ye ho atoye ni se akani akura udin kani omo kura na onye meji kanta no se o to on so like ana o je se de omo ko ya omo di e paso e wo kani ahu Eshokra pipe for 4 months ni pipe dry again too. Enti asema okano Ghana for buofu no papa number 3 million say yenyina yanka ya gubo ya Dr. Agyeman Mudu Bonia waba 2028 no yenyina yanko gina na yanto abano bese mabonya abrante say the ni manual obesita Ghana bra obema Ghana ye krabese Ghana for enyon nkwa.
Okay. Meba cho me tell yanko the next one. Meba cho majo. Okay. Memajo.
Champion Mark Jerry.
Yetio.
Anapanya nyasumbi enkan. Weye wa onu abema na amwa kwa nkata CS boy ewa ayensu no kono. Mamincha mi MP area Obatampa aida address wa na mincha incoming national chairman Yura Honorable Boachi Ejako mestre MZMP was there it is every party no ni pedi ase almost sure mo to party new one enkare ase wa ko ma se party nyen wa ko no bi mestre yembe you Honorable Ejako mi party no bi biala bia wa pa ba biala na ba mabu bia no enko na anen kase ko ife wo didie se November national chairman ya obetili nkumo ba obetili player ba obetili nesi toma nwe eji ate o party mo umdi president mo obetili bi amne nesi wa hard no about the king of the party as your party and the magazine to ask no your best is for say the kase bibi nko ni wi ni ya ayen se penye mpon wasemu ye pese omuje ni yie
na the Ghana for any about to also emphasize because the net 24-hour economy imagine the net aba and Ghana mebu any and almost ya a abano and number one abaso. Sana said never to uncoin so a abano no make a channel and the year canon near can sense say ye come as had no bottom share what this so because the net Ghana bebu ye one year ni a chini let's see try the kaye. Let's Ghana bebu na wa as a abana wa banon wa point chief no who to work at 67% na abaya jumeni who to work at 9% na ya to water bemu to tisi bemu na ya si inflation but I'm not getting na inflation na ba for na dollar na ba so for so be pana Ghana fo enyaye na nka manya inflation ya ba from na dollar ba na ya si bibia ekuyum anka akuya kokko akuya fo omkoko yete so fees you for the battle kokko pa akofo wa manoni now so abandon us or maintaining present in a queer for a then a SCA a lady the woman say own to me and maintaining plan see at so nothing any of them who are for air power motel a didn't throw home.
Okay.
I'm not and if as a father almost on to you almost abandon the man kind of only on the bush so because only
better say pa welcome my main fan on sign di her when to men you know so main fan next one meba cho ma jo Yetio.
Manjari. Every no Casano. No, I tell my camp Women's Bank in our country. Me June and Tinatel. Women's Bank and then I'll be out on the bank. And I'm banking, of course, who story an hour bank, back in the end. And it's a big castle 1 year or buy a Bemuna or two or near or home banking and you or a city. And I go kitty, I go and upon a Yanobia Musti and all because a coco 5 or not 20 years. Already I go found no million, I go found no million, no million. And yet also I go now we are Mutaka, no Muna, or move one or a dog. And after I go on Mukana, you don't go to I don't make me a family. Every one of them Mukasa and I'm doing was a school of Mukono, politics in El Magno and I said, Mukasa. Politics in El Magno, on power travel, also did not travel on Kataka, Pabagino.
Now also as I'm working on one na time na NDC Asia boss one be women banking na NDC nim say Sabrina JDM no nim so be say the answer why banking
so because over while na over super no after no go track no don't no so be can over while and all that also over while no over while so over while but about over so bams over while and you be so by bag no buy 1 year bag no so be and 1 year 5 years
yo
every be 8 years no there no mukafa one grade one down there no mu ya fa 8 years there no mu ya fa mo na mi ya be na mi kaza mu there se amu continue to mu na mu ma mu ya sa dem go Ghana anu obi mi ba na betra onu no ka sema kan kira na nu kwale na obo mu tira o
eti na ka okan wo expect wo da bia wo fra ji wa accuse journalist na won so e dey na house da bia wo be fra bia ji wa accuse journalist da bia journalist in so aya na ye boa mo na mo politician mo frefre
onu ba of course lawyer onu so
okay
na o ka sa for bank here was drugs
yo mate
onu ba 1 year no na o ta o ti dan no wo go to dan say wa no the bank that bank
me da say
process ana bank any process no obe ya no be fa na obe bank no anu so for school but traffic car car mu tra o so ko politics
me da so why my next one me ba cho majo
Mejo so
yetio
Chairman Maggi Vacho Minito to Pachi Ashima Subakaram.
Okay, Yanko.
Time for me to you. Brameda say, with Captain Kankoma Miami MC Honorable Edmond Abu. The Pacho this month is real epitome of wisdom. Ninyan Santi Domiko Binya Egusofan and Tuma Pesca. Honorable Uchirian Punyaku Ponshab of your Butcher in Arabia. I mean, Chacha Manju or retaining his seat of someone constituency as communication officer. and I do chat to yet the Mashipia FTCU honorable insurance in the Faboma. General, when you a possible trade, a dear sir, my comrade, my senior comrade, a William Fukramana Saiwi. Takwano no ameka punk here and oveka sayano the nanko said you or you fratami and I said ubi a uni school in the Biakra and Kebanke the Fanasa. You bet my quarry, I consider I charitable with him. When you not if you say and Kamahama Mamu bet is a Kufadwa Mamu. Or Shep was so good one day a friend of free education or mobile pata. No dimly can be free SHS and the school aye. And next the school system aye. Sana Nigerian say, John Dramani Mahama ebai. But when you say Okotre and a cotre sedin, let's do no more. I am no credit, Nanado ne Mahama, only a nipa. Yankopo on the bomb in a bed, but I'm telling you, it differs. Mahama on unity say Kufuado, and see, we are just 1 year down the lane. You won't see me in somewhere. John Dramani Mahama are making it emphatically clear, sir. I feel we any a memo brewing a legacy time. Me to party. Me nipa me dika say John Dramani Mahama. What should be a share? And what is in 19 deliver? Me must sorry at Yana. Me who say with DNDC Ramo now. So be a better NDC so. So, Chama did be as a politicians no better now. It is to MPP for never now. Or catch you say, and you're too early. Some person put blame or pursue blame because there is no scandal. In the end, I'm pursuing a castle baby bank or yeah, a castle bay and cook it and get it or yeah. After credit, just only name your mocha, only name your because I'm only for you. At least you say a better if reform and Sana Kosovo. You will be a deal radio national you see your son.
Okay, may I say, Mammy for last one, Majo. Yeah, too. Nyanko pardon. Yeah, that's yeah, man.
Doing so, September. Because only back or Temuna, the before no doing no assault, before no doing no assault, before no doing a human nothing. Yes, so let's say dollar, then dollar no, almost common. But yeah, like you said, the Brahma, not a point.
Medas Namisha so. Hana yede aye calls no. Yede say how you need 100.9 Jumedi friend Torchlight. Was it and then okay?
Hey, me pese me can be kakra for electricity bills no. Let say Ghana for ekesa ho kakra. It best say those concern. You by PRC or more money so about no ba church mu. Why the electricity bill is as it is now, and if there's any process we can help to minimize the burden of the citizen. If he said the PURC should try his best and make a statement in that order. But Women's Bank now Brant and the account was my responding. After Forson, he made a budget allocation for the Women's Bank. So as at now, I'm sure feasibility studies and other processes are going on. Say Women's Bank now, you share ball, ebebemu. Meda etiefo ase.
Meda say Evans Amo. Abusia ene ha Torchlight no. Ene nwumre ha de di sinti yadum no yede kwahye mpaase. Nyame yadom ochena. Mene obehia e wo Ghana muntie so woni 100.9. Midin e de Mark Jerry OSEI AGYEMAN. Mede aseda bema eye lawyer Kwasibo Junior. Na mede aseda ma Evans Amo member of the NDC. Womana enomba ye me guest e wo Jumedi so. Juliana, Medan semi studio assistant. Dr. Father Dixon Na, executive producer, me general manager Kennedy Asante Esquire, Madam Ase. Nyame adom ebehia eye ochina Ghana montie so DJ Bosco take over DJ Bosco atenase DJ take over atene enko enim obebo anyom here dey adeda kama
ya no me